Yeah. So ultimately, there are different theories on it, Shay, and one of, I suppose, the most accepted one would be the dopamine hypothesis. So that some individuals are predisposed to addiction because of dysfunctionality in dopamine circuitry. So we're talking about orbitofrontal cortices, meaning there's different tracks which concentrate probably in the front, just at the front here. But there's also tracks running from the back to the front of the brain. But generally speaking, if we look at the frontal cortex, there's a concentration of dopamine rich circuitry in this particular area. But it's not just dopamine. I mean, the serotonin system is very clearly linked with dopamine, as is the opioid system. So this is why we use drugs like naltrexone, which is an opioid blocker, which has been licensed for the treatment of alcohol addiction. And we use in process addictions like gambling addiction as well, because the opioid system links in with the dopamine system, and a lot of the systems are linked together. But ultimately, the hypothesis is that some individuals are predisposed to initiation of a certain well, look at it like this. Everybody, say, takes a substance or engages in a process, but some people, because of the circuitry, are more predisposed to use in a compulsive fashion than others. And you can look at this. For instance, you can look at population genetics. You can look at over thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. You can look at those affected by addiction and those who are not affected, and look at the difference in genetic makeup there, and make sure that that's very statistically sound. That's one aspect. If you tie that together with functional magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, fMRI scanning, you can look at the difference. Ultimately, that involves injecting a ligand here, and you can look at different colors in the brain where different circuitry is activated, cases versus controls. Again, doing a gambling task, or giving somebody a substance and somebody not taking a substance, or even just not taking a substance at all. Just look at the differences. So you can put up on a projector, you can put up imagery of drug use or gambling and look at the differences. And there are very, very clear differences in these particular areas in cases versus controls. Then the next bit is you can get people into a laboratory and you can get them doing gambling tasks. So cases versus controls. Again, you can look at it's like giving people an exam. Here's an exam for you, here's an exam paper for you, and they will complete the exam, but the people with the deficits will complete it in a different way to the person without a difficulty. Then the next area is clinically. You look at people in a clinical setting and you see their the way that they respond to particular questions. So there are four aspects: genetic, neuroimaging, laboratory, and clinical.